asphalt day in LA County, sitting watching all the leaves change. Temperatures dipping into the low 70s. I dress accordingly. Roll down the window, put down the top. You know what? Maybe roll it up on second thought. That guy was higher than no pension of a state employee. Can't use straws here, no foie gras here. You can't park here, lots of laws here. Every toilet, barely flush it, but the sun is shining all the time. Look like another bill to pay. I love LA. We love it. We love it. Definitely recommend this crystal here. Oh, and this one is our #1 seller. Ah, what's that for? Anxiety? No, typhus. Public school graduates can barely read, and when they try to park, well, this is what they see. Sweet regulation, ain't nothing like them nowhere. Beachside, we love it. Mountainside, we love it. Riverside, we fixed streets, we love them, we love them, we love them. We love LA. Unfortunately, I'll have to fail your restaurant. I found a rat in the kitchen. That wasn't a rat, that was my emotional support rodent. Well, why didn't you say so? And this right here is a great hemorrhoidal crystal. Uranus is in retrograde. I love LA. We love it. I love LA. We love it. I love LA. We love it.
Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Hello, hello, everybody.
It is time for another edition of Jobbers and Jabbers. I'm Jobbers. He's Jabbers. Say hello, Jabbers.
Hello, Jabbers.
Another great day to be an American. Happy to be here. Been back-to-back shows for the first time in a while. Got some stuff to cover. But with that said, I want to address we're starting a little late because somebody, not going to name names, had obligations, stuff to do IRL, which I know here on YouTube is just a crazy concept, just wacky and zany. But yeah, so we're starting a little late, but it's still happening and still should be good. How was your week, Jabbers?
That was a pretty good week. It was pretty quick, actually.
Oh, well, good for you, because mine was just seemed slow as hell. I guess it's because it's the first time in a while between some vacation and some holidays that I've had back-to-back full weeks of work. And I'm telling you, by Wednesday at about noon, I was done. I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't
Yeah, that
take
was good
this.
drag.
Yeah, just got to get back into the routine. Just in time to then go on vacation for the holidays. Whoops! Holidays Part 2. But before we begin, oh, you had something to say, Jabbers? Didn't want to cut you off.
Well, I was just gonna say, it's good planning that you're off. You're back into work for a couple of weeks, and then you're off again.
Yes, because I'm very important to the quote-unquote workflow of my company. That I could just continue to leave incessantly. Tater Snake, I thought this started at 8. False advertising. I want a refund. What do you mean? Intro was solid at 8 o'clock. To the second? Anyway, I'm going to ignore this problematic chat. Real quick, want to do some house cleaning. Just want to acknowledge a couple people. We have 2 subscribers. The Best Remy subscribed, and She Who Lurks subscribed. So thank you to you both. Appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you.
Then I'm going to say hello to those that are here. Hello, Tater Snake. Hello, Chorgan. Hello, Miss Stabbers. Hello, Blackout. Doe the Kid. Sengear. I see Redacted. I see Lucky. I see one marking out. ProWrestlingTees.com/marking out. And the Everyday Man. Hello, all. Hopefully we'll do a good job and entertain you for the next hour, leading into hopefully late night, Saturday night Shag It. Not sure if that's going to happen, but we'll keep you posted if I hear anything back. In any case, shall we get into it, Jabbers?
Yeah, let's get into it here.
All right. Enough of that jiggery pokery. We're going to start this evening with, I think, what has been most noteworthy the last week or so, probably arguably worldwide, but that is what's going on in France. This is from the Chicago Tribune. Rioting engulfs Paris as anger grows over high taxes. Now, again, in my not so intelligent, not so well-informed way, I know about this on a surface level in that it all kind of started from an argument over, basically, long story short, if I made too long, don't read this. France, in an effort to combat what's perceived as global climate change, as emissions being an issue, in order to curtail that, they were planning on raising gas prices due to higher taxes up to somewhere around, I think I heard something as high as $7.50 a gallon. Just absurdly high prices for gas, and the people didn't want anything to do with that, so they began to protest and riot. And as time has gone on, that the point of the riot has kind of expanded into more an issue of a criticism of Macron's way of doing things, his cabinet, and also just living standards in general. And it seems to be sort of across the board. It's not just a straight, oh, these are a bunch of crazy conservatives, or oh, these are a bunch of hippy-dippy left-wingers. It's sort of a across-the-board agreement. What do you make about it, Jabbers?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is what happens when people are actually faced with the consequences of this kind of legislation. You know, I mean, the reality is, and a lot of people on the American right have been saying this for years, that even if we were to accept that global warming, you know, is a dangerous problem, you know, the answer to the question is, you know, how many people do you want to kill in order to solve the problem? You know, I mean, because the reality is that, you know, I mean, so in a first world country, raising gas prices to $7 an hour results in, you know, a lot of people being very angry. But the reality is, in say a developing nation like Africa, raising gasoline prices to $7 an hour is killing people. You know, so how many people do you want to kill in the name of this problem that you say that we have?
On a side note, I forget if there's a particular reason why they're all wearing yellow vests. I forget if in sort of a bit of irony that I think it was governmentally mandated that they had to wear the vests, or I forget. There was some particular reason, and now I'm mad that I forget. But yeah, no, this just seems like a kind of no duh that if you're going to enact these kind of policies, you're probably going to get a blowback from the people who make your lives run. You know, I hate to go back to Fight Club, but you know, there's that classic sort of soliloquy by Tyler Durden where he goes on and on about how, you know, we're the people who take out your trash, serve your food, so don't fuck with us. And this is sort of, in a sense, fucking with us.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, and the vast problem, like I said, this is the funniest aspect of this to me. I guess to just explain why I'm laughing at this. The funniest aspect to me is that France continuously elects left-leaning politicians. They continuously elect people who are going to enact more socialist ideals on the country, right? But this is the result of socialism. I mean, this is what you're going to get. You know, I mean, when the government pays your salary, when the government dictates what, you know, what kind of health care you can have, when the government's paying for all of that stuff, you know, they get to make the decisions like this. So, you know, to say, oh, well, we don't like Macron. Well, okay, that's fine. Who are you going to put into office? Somebody just like Macron. You know, and they continuously feel good about themselves for doing it. You know, Paris loved the Paris Climate Accords. You know, I mean, nobody was rioting over the Paris signing the accords. You know, so I don't understand. So, you know, it's now you're mad now that you realize that it's going to cost you $7 to get a gallon of gas. Well, you know, I mean, that's the consequence of signing the legislation.
And at the end of this article, they mentioned that Trump kind of responded to this sort of tongue-in-cheekly, and I'm going to scroll down, and they quoted his tweet, which basically said, "People do not want to pay large sums of money in order to maybe protect the environment." Again, across the ocean, U.S. President Donald Trump seized the moment to once again criticize the 2015 Paris Climate Accord that he is abandoning. Well, I don't know. I don't see anybody here in yellow vests protesting gas prices. Just saying. If anything, I've noticed that gas has gone way down recently. I remember driving by and seeing $2.10 a gallon, and I'm like, holy shit. When did that happen?
Yeah, well, I mean, as it turns out, you know, purchasing more fuel and finding new technologies and new ways to get fuel drives the price of gas down. I mean, I've told people for years, part of the problem that we have in this country isn't the amount of gasoline necessarily, but it's the number of plants that we have to process oil into gasoline. You know, in the process of processing the oil into gasoline, you also produce a lot of other extracts that you can use to produce other things. But we can't upgrade our technology in our current plants, and we can't build new plants because every time somebody tries, people start protesting. They show up in their yellow vests, you know, but then those are the same people that want to complain about gas prices.
Well, two things to add on this, and again, feel free to point out my ignorance on this, but I'm under the impression that, well, to your point, one thing is, wasn't there an Alaskan pipeline or some sort of pipeline through Canada that they wanted to build, but they couldn't because people kept getting in the way?
Well, so it wasn't an Alaskan pipeline. It was a pipeline that was going through North Dakota and South Dakota.
Okay.
and it was going across. I think it was territories that one of the tribes up north had argued was theirs, and so they were going through a territory dispute about it.
Okay. Yeah, I vaguely remember there being some sort of issue with a pipeline recently. I just couldn't remember the details or where it was. But the second thing is that I remember hearing from some left-wing commentator or something that because of Trump's consistency on this and him abandoning the climate accords too, one of the reasons that gas is so cheap right now is that offshore drilling has become more of a thing now because we're potentially less concerned with the environment than we were, say, 4 or 5 years ago.
Good.
Yeah, no, but so all I'm saying is it's just funny that everybody criticized him for leaving and goofed on him for doing it, and the world's going to end. But, wow, would you look at that? Gas is $2 a gallon. And we don't have yellow-vested people throwing, as Doc Griffin said, stale baguettes at the police. So
yeah, well, I mean, the reality is that people have been complaining about the environment and the effect on the environment forever. So I mean, to say that this is something that's ever going to stop would be folly. They're going to complain about it no matter what. But the reality is that if you really want to get serious about climate change, right? If you're really a hardcore believer that man is affecting the climate, that we're doing a lot of damage to the climate, and we need to change things, the countries that you want to change, okay, are China and India. They produce far more population than the United States does. Even with all of the offshore drilling, even if we ramped up our offshore drilling, it wouldn't matter. China and India do more damage to the environment than we could possibly try to do. So start there.
China. They do the best pollution.
Yeah, I mean,
the biggest pollution.
Yeah, they do. They're the best. They get the best pollution in China.
It's not good enough. We got to do better.
But yeah, I mean, this is the focus on America's effect on the climate, okay, is essentially walking into a trashed apartment, right? And starting with, I don't know, cleaning a mirror off or something. I mean, the apartment's trash. You probably should start with a trash bag, but they don't want to do that. They don't want to do the hard work. They want to go after the United States because we're richer than everybody else, which is why it is most conservatives, I think, have appropriately identified that this has nothing to do with the environment. This has everything to do with trying to knock us down a peg on our economic scale.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's kind of Trump's point, is that everybody's jumping down our throats for leaving the climate accord and apparently, the offshore drilling, et cetera, the cutting of the EPA. Oh, woe is us, you're contributing to the problem, but then it's seemingly ignoring, Chinese smog and India and whatnot, and just kind of poo-pooing that and going, oh, no, see, they're developing. They're becoming first world, et cetera, and you're just like, well, wait, which is it? And then there's always the tongue-in-cheek, Al Gore flying on a plane to go to all his conferences, but that's a whole nother ball of wax that I think we've talked about before.
Right, yeah, exactly. Well, and I can't remember who it was that said this, but I mean, if people were really worried about the oceans, the ocean levels, then they would be moving, right? I mean, now would be a good time to sell your house if you lived on an ocean, but nobody's selling oceanfront property at a record rate right now, so they can't be that worried about it.
Well, right, and that goes to a broader point that we can get into if we want, but part of me, how do I put this? Part of me does feel bad for people that live in environmentally, I guess, skittish areas, like with all the wildfires having in California and the fact that New Orleans is basically in a bowl, geographically speaking. But on the other hand, it just always fascinates me when you see interviews with people after like Hurricane Katrina or the wildfires or whatnot saying, oh, I just want to move back in and start my life over again. It's like, your house just burned down. Well, you may want to consider moving. I don't know. It's just a thought.
Yeah, who was the comedian that was talking about all the people that live in Tornado Alley they live in trailers? You know, just move. Your house has wheels.
Yeah, well, I mean, and there's the classic bit by Sam Kinison, that classic bit where he's talking about, you know, instead of airdropping food to Africa, let's just take a bunch of U-Hauls and move them the fuck out. You know, just like, if there's no food, move. Again, it's a little simplistic, but it's
yeah, I mean,
funny.
the problem with that argument is that the problem isn't that there's no food. The problem is that they don't know how to sustain growth of food. You know, and it's not even that they don't know how to grow food. They just can't grow it consistently. You know, and that's the problem is, you know, I mean, you know, I mean, a lot of the people, just to bring this back to gasoline, and a lot of the people that have a problem with gasoline, you know, they don't credit oil enough. You know, I mean, for a lot of the advancement that we've had as a society, you know, in the last 100 or so years, you know, I mean, the invention of plastics was amazing. You know, and I'm not even talking about like plastic cups. You know, I mean, things that you don't think about, like, you know, tubing for medical equipment. You know, I mean, transfusions are really difficult to do without plastic tubing that you can sterilize. You know, plastic gloves. You know, something you rarely think about, right? But I mean, plastic gloves. Think about the medical profession for a second, and imagine doctors not wearing gloves and how dirty that would be, right?
Yep.
Plastic gloves advanced medicine far beyond a lot of things, you know. And it's just little things that you don't think of that you take advantage of. They're all made from oil, you know. Now imagine for a second that you lived in Africa, a place where you're not allowed to process oil, where you're not allowed to use it as a source of fuel. You know, not in the same way that the United States is, you know, and that's what's been killing Africa for the longest time is the regulations, you know, presumably for climate change, you know, that do nothing but hamper growth in that, you know, in that area of the world.
Well, another thing too, and this is the last thing I'll say about the Africa thing, and you tell me if this is cockamamie or not, but another issue too is that we're kind of the problem in the sense that we give sort of humanitarian aid and whatnot in the form of, you know, like I said, half jokingly, dropping food and whatnot. Well, that's good on the surface, but it also sort of adds on to what you're talking about in that it hampers their ability to sort of sustain growth or take care of themselves, because you're basically presenting them with, wait, I could potentially start a farm that may or may not work, or I could just wait for the U.S. to dump a bunch of food and then I'm good for 6 months. My incentive is kind of shot.
So that's not necessarily true. So I mean, first of all, most of the food that we're dropping over there isn't going to last 6 months. But to the larger point, okay, when we start giving a lot of humanitarian aid to African countries, it's when they're in a crisis. At that point, you really can't build a farm. You know, I mean, part of the problem is, I mean, again, even if you were able to build a farm and grow food, then you have to defend that food. That comes at a cost. Most people aren't going to be able to pay those costs, because otherwise you're just going to have people stealing from you all the time. And it's not like you can just readily replace the food that you're growing. You know, so it's a lot trickier than just saying, well, we just won't give human aid, you know, humanitarian aid. What we really need to do is to deregulate things over Africa and let Africa grow in the same way that the United States grew. At the same time, we need to find a way to stabilize a lot of the central countries in Africa, because they essentially go through dictator after dictator after dictator.
Fair enough. So just to close this out, yeah, Paris is in a bit of a state of unrest. Let's say. There's a great picture here in this article. I forget where it was. Yeah, this picture of the Eiffel Tower just covered in fog. It's just kind of a cool shot that kind of encapsulates things.
Oh, well, it's not fog. It's actually smoke, I think, from tear gas grenades.
Is that all smoke? Okay.
I think that is, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of it's a lot of gas then. Jesus. But yeah, so Paris having a little bit of trouble. I'd go through and read this a little bit, but as Jabbers and I were discussing before we started things, there's too much foreign in this article that I don't feel like pronouncing, so I'm not even going to begin to try. But yeah, so shit's going down a bit in the wonderful country of France. Hopefully they'll sort their shit out, but something tells me there could be some doubling down going on. but we'll keep an eye on that. But now, to skillfully transition into the less serious and the more goofy, let's start off with a BBC article entitled Consecrated Virgins, I Got Married to Christ. Which, I'm not going to lie, when I initially read this, I thought it was something off one of those magazines you see right before you buy your groceries. You know, right next to the articles about how aliens have invaded, how Alex Jones is a lizard person, Tom Cruise has a secret baby he hasn't told anybody about, that kind of shit. But yeah, BBC News. Let's read, shall we? Jessica Hayes bought herself a wedding gown, a veil, and a ring, but when she stood at the altar facing the bishop during a solemn religious ceremony, there was no groom by her side. Real quick before we continue, Coffee Can has urged me, quite politely I might add, to read chat by saying, "Read chat, nigger." So I guess I will oblige and look at the chat. Doc Griffin says, part of Hey Man Nice Chef feels like a natural woman. That's a little creepy. Doe the Kid said, Nola put themselves in a bowl with levies they don't maintain. Yeah. That's a whole nother ball of wax. Coffee Can says, here, have some food so you can have 7 starving kids. Yeah. The reason Africa's population is so high is because it lives on aid. African cannot grow like a white man's nation. Okay. Stupid Christ cucks. All right, Coffee Can's on a roll. Don Griffin, what do you get when you cross Mussolini with a potato? A dictator. I regret reading chat now. I regret reading chat. I shouldn't have listened to Coffee Can, even though he was so polite in asking me to read chat. So I'm going to continue.
Well, let's go ahead. We can also say hi to Sisyphus and Lo-Fi because they came in during the first article. So, hey, guys.
All right. Hello, Sisyphus and Wi-Fi. And I also see a Killing Joke. Hello, sir.
Hello, Killing Joke.
Thank you for stopping by. Careful with the muscle relaxers, I'm just saying. She was getting married to Jesus Christ. Miss Hayes, 41, is a consecrated virgin. A vocation taken by women within the Catholic Church who wish to give themselves as brides to God. Oh, boy. Even with Catholicism.
You know how you know your standards are too high, right?
Yeah, when you literally have to go to the alleged most perfect man in the history of the world to get married.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's how high their standards are.
Even within Catholicism, consecrated virgins are little known, partly because the vocation was only publicly sanctioned by the Church less than 50 years ago. Sounds like they're making it up as they go along, almost. During the tongue-in-cheek. During the consecration ceremony, the candidate, who wears a bride-like white dress, makes lifelong chastity vows and promises never to engage in sexual or romantic relationships. Oh, not even a date? Rough. The women also wear a wedding ring, a symbol of their betrothal to Christ. Oh my God, I could just imagine running into one of these people and being like, I see you're married. So who's the lucky bachelor? I don't have any pictures of him. I can't call him. But believe me, he's there. But to be fair, he's one of the more famous guys in the world. All right, I'm done. Quote, I often get asked, so are you married? Oh, perfect. What a segue. That was not intentional for the record. That just worked out well. Who is one of this year's BBC 100 Women. Okay, what the hell does that mean? Does anyone care if I click this link and see what the hell that means?
No, go for it.
Let me click this link. What does it mean to be a BBC 100 woman?
I'm clicking it to find out myself.
BBC 100 Women 2018. Who is on the list? BBC 100 Women has announced its list of 100 inspiring and influential women from around the world for 2018. With their help, we will explore a variety of themes, including using anger to spark action and uncovering women from the shadows of history. All right, I'm done. Are you done, Jabber?
Oh, no, I'm going through this list.
Oh, no.
Oh, hey. Chelsea Clinton made it to 20.
All right, let me see. Oh, yep, sure as shit. There she is.
I guess being given the vice chair to your parents' foundation that's used to scam money from foreign countries into American politics. I guess, yeah, I guess that would make you a 100 woman.
That's allegedly.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, mark it out. I was thinking the same thing. There's a cartoon at number 2. What the hell is number 2?
Oh no, it's from a website. Director of the nonprofit mahal.org in Bahrain. I thought the same thing. And
I know I avoided it in the last article, but let's do it. Number 1, Abasoye Ajayi Akinflorin. Akinflorinian. Florin. Is that close? Ezra Folarin. Okay. I don't know why I keep saying Florin. Esra Al-Shafe. Svetlana Alexieva. Ooh, I think I nailed that. Or maybe it's Alexieva. I don't know. God, this is hilarious. Lizd Alfonso. Oh, my. Oh, what the hell is this? Busra Ya Almutawakal. I think I got that one. I don't know.
I don't know.
Alina, okay. Uma Deva Devi. I can't. Jesus. Uma Devi Badi. Hey, Devi Badi. Judith Balcasser. My God, this woman's got 4 names.
Scroll down to 41's picture. That one's pretty funny. And 53.
41 and 53, you say?
Yep.
Oh, my God. 41 is an albino. What the hell?
Bando Hoba.
And then
Hoba.
53. What is 53? Nanaya Mahuta.
Yeah. Did you see her picture, though?
Yeah, where she's got a tattooed face. Yeah, she seems like a well-adjusted woman. But she must be. She's top 100.
Yeah, 52 is unimpressed with being ranked 52, I think.
Oh, 52 is unimpressed Tater's aunt.
Oh.
Woo-hoo.
Oh, she's from Venezuela. Yeah, I wouldn't be impressed
yeah. She can't afford to be unimpressed. She can't afford to be impressed because inflation's too high.
Marking out to asking if 28 had a goatee. The answer is yes. Yeah, she has a goatee.
Let me see, 28. Oh, my God. 28's got more than a goatee. Who the fuck is 28?
Sharouk Elatar.
Elatar.
She's an electronic design engineer from Egypt.
Okay, this is a sentence I didn't think I'd ever read in my life. Is a refugee and full-time engineer who uses belly dancing to raise awareness and campaign for the rights of the LGBTQT45678988462 plus community in Egypt. Okay.
John Rogers Billswater in the chat is asking what I did. I didn't do anything.
My curiosity got the better of me, apparently.
Yeah, I am off on this ride with you guys.
All right. Perhaps we should go back to what we were reading, but Jesus, this is a hell of a list.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised it doesn't have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh, she could be here. Okay. Holy shit. I just scrolled to 6. Yep. You beat me to it. I was thinking 76 and 64. Oh, my. 64 is a little derpy, but I'm afraid I could be making fun of an actual special letter. But 76, what the hell?
No, 78 actually is a special ed. Yeah.
Okay, but what about 64? Fled the war crossing in a wheelchair. Now refugees with disabilities. Oh, so she's not mentally handicapped. Yeah, she's just handicapped.
Right. Yeah, she's definitely got disabilities.
Miss Stabbers, I thought we were going to talk about a lady who married Christ, but this ain't it. Hey, she's number 43. Take it easy. This is still relevant somehow.
We're talking about her and all of her sisters on the 100 list.
All right, the last 20. Let me see if I can see anybody of note. 92 is a little old.
See, I was looking at her. She's a former spy in Winston Churchill's Secret Army.
Who, 92?
Yeah, so she's actually impressive.
Ooh. Sending coded messages to spies during World War II and went on to set up Europe's first AIDS hospice. Oh, all right. We've got one. One out of the 100.
Well, Marking Out's not impressed because there's no Beyonce, so.
Yeah. Wait, 87 is a female hey man. What?
Oh, you got a female A-man on there, huh?
87. Would you fuck off, Marking Out? Jesus Christ. God, man.
That's,
I don't
that would
look
be
like that.
Donna Strickland. She's a professor of physics in Canada.
Oh, then I'm
It
definitely
says
not
that
her.
Donna is a professor of physics at the University of Waterloo in Canada and is one of the recipients of the Nobel Prize in Physics 2018. She also enjoys long walks on the beach and likes holding hands and staring into her lover's eyes.
All
There you
right.
go,
Well,
hey man, right up your alley.
yeah. Does she enjoy World of Warcraft or college football? If not, fuck off.
Yeah, she'll get into it. She likes physics.
Yeah, there's a... Oh, the ball went in a trajectory of 38 degrees and landed with a trajectory of 12. Yeah, no. All right, I'm done with this list. Back to the consecrated virgin. Even with, during the consecration ceremony, the candidate, I already read this. Yeah, so she's on the top 100 list. Quote, I usually just reply with a really brief explanation that I am similar to a religious sister, that there's a total commitment to Christ, but I live out in the world. She is one of 254, quote, brides of Christ in the U.S. Oh, this isn't even European. Oh, my.
Nope.
Oh, boy. According to the United States Association of Consecrated Virgins, they have their own group.
Yep, their own lobby group.
Oh, Jesus H. Christ. Okay. Whose day jobs range from nurses to psychologists to accountants, businesswomen, and firefighters. Oh, all right. Wide variety. There are at least 4,000 consecrated virgins in the world, according to a 2015 survey. And the Vatican says that there has been an upsurge of vocations, quote, in very diverse geographic areas and cultural contexts. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Coffee Can says CNN's top 100 women who deserve to be on a fucking cross. All right. 100 is definitely an Asian man. 92 is Frodo's grandma. Tater Snake says check grandma. Coffee Can says you better start reading my shit out or I'm going to send my group of niggers to gang rape you. Okay. I'm done reading your chat.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You got us. You convinced us.
Yep, send your pack. Go ahead. Send your pack of them to come get me if they can find me. Unlike nuns, consecrated virgins do not live in enclosed communities or wear special clothes. They lead a secular life, have jobs, and support themselves. There is no such male equivalent in the Catholic Church. Huh?
Well, I think what they're saying is that there are no males that are marrying Christ in the Catholic Church.
But technically, if you're a priest, aren't you doing that?
No. When you're a priest, you're taking a vow of celibacy. But you're not actually marrying God.
Oh, okay. So you're taking a vow which basically says, I could fuck up and be forgiven, whereas these people are... Ah, okay.
Oh, yeah, no, if they cheat on their husband, they're going to hell.
I mean, he's the best guy in existence, so I don't know why you'd even think about it.
Yeah, God is a wrathful and vengeful God. So,
But he loves you all equally.
it's a conundrum.
'Tis a conundrum.
Oh, good, they've got an infographic.
Oh, this ought to be exciting. Here, I'll read it. I'll read it in Newspeak. Consecrated virgins, a little-known vacation in Catholicism. 4,000 consecrated virgins in 78 countries, according to a 2015 survey. 1,220 of them live in France and Italy, the countries with the largest numbers of consecrated virgins. U.S., Mexico, Romania, Poland, Spain, Germany, and Argentina also have high numbers. 5,000 is the number of consecrated virgins projected for 2020. This is according to Congregation for Institutes of Consecrated Life and Societies of Apostolic Life and UCACV. Ha! I feel like I just sold an ad. I'm that asshole at the end of every ad who has to put in, all the legal bullshit to cover their ass. Prices of participation may vary. Not available in all locations. Quote, I have been a teacher for 18 years. Oh, of course. Everybody loves the teachers. I'm actually teaching at the same high school that I went to. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, because you wouldn't want to leave your hometown. No. It's a small, small world out there.
Yeah, exactly. Tater Snake in the chat. It's a conundrum. Leviticus 17:3.
Yep. Or John 3:16. Oh my God, this fucking picture. In the most significant moment of the consecration rite, the Virgin lies prostrate before the altar. And nobody questions this. Nobody finds this really fucking odd.
Well, everybody finds it odd, except for Catholics. Which is why everybody finds them odd.
Well, at least their art's good looking. Before my consecration, I realized I didn't share a call to the community life nuns live, in a religious congregation or with a specific apostolate, a form of evangelistic activity or work that each of these communities would have. Evangelistic. I had it right the first time. Evangeline Lilly. That each of these communities would have. When she is not teaching, most of her time is devoted to private prayer and Jesus. All right, I'm going to slow down. Most of her time is devoted to private prayer and penance, not coming up with a curriculum. She reports to a bishop and keeps regular meetings with her spiritual advisor. This article hurts.
Why would she need a spiritual advisor, though? She's married to God.
Yeah, can't she just cook the guy a sandwich and ask him?
I mean, couldn't she just talk to God? Yeah, does she still need a pope?
Yeah, and if you're married to God, are you the one who cuts up his body into the little pieces of bread and, takes out his blood in a transfusion and makes it wine or something? I don't know. Quote, I live in a neighborhood. Wow.
We live in a neighborhood.
We live in a society. Jesus Christ. I live in a neighborhood. Woo. I belong to the parish that's just 2 miles away from my home. I am available to help family and friends. And then I teach, so I'm surrounded by people during the day, but still accommodate a special consecration to the Lord around that. She has been in romantic relationships in the past, but says they never made her feel complete. Oh, well then, they probably weren't the best guys, but okay. Quote, I thought I was called to marry life, which is a very natural desire for the human person. So I did date, but never seriously. Oh, well, thanks for wasting other people's time, you prick. Jesus, quote, I dated all good people, but with no one I felt that pursuing it further was the best thing to do at the time. Nice.
Mark it out in the chat says you should just locate Jessica Hay so you can see if she wants to move in.
No, I won't do that. In fact, this is what I have to say to you, Brandon.
Shut up!
What? It can be like a sitcom. It'll be you and her and God.
Shut up!
No. I refuse. Nope. 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 There will be no crosses in my apartment. Nope. I'm not getting a little yoga mat so she can kneel down and do her ablutions or whatever the frack she does. All right. Permanent commitment. No, you know what? No. I'm done.
Done?
I'm done with this. Blah, blah, blah. The Pope approves. Ha ha. This is the ceremony. Her selfie. Ha ha. Hee hee. Oh, they had an explanation of what is 100 women at the bottom. Son of a bitch. So we didn't even have to click on that.
Yeah, but let's be honest. It was a lot more fun.
Yeah, I guess it was, to try and pronounce the unpronounceable.
So, given the time, I think we probably should move on to the weirdest news of the week.
We're moving on, are we?
Yeah, well, I think it's just because, we got a late night here in about 10 minutes or so, 12 minutes. So I think we should get to the weirdest story of the week, because I think we're up against.
Well, again, I think if we go a little bit over, it won't be the end of the world. But anyway, fine. Let's. Oh, we got to at least do the kale story. Can we do the kale story? That'll be
all
quick.
right. Let's do the kale story.
Well, hell, we could just go through these rapid fire. Ready?
Go.
Rapid fire news in 3, 2, 1. We start with, from Quartzy, more parents are naming their babies after healthy foods. Parents often name their babies after the things they love. Food. From characters in movies, reality TV, and video games, right down to their favorite foods. The parenting website Baby Center recently released its report on baby name trends in the U.S. The report is based on hundreds of thousands of names that parents provided the website each year. Given that about 4 million babies are born annually in the U.S., Baby Center's list of the most popular baby names is neither comprehensive nor nationally representative. Still, it's fun. This year's findings suggest that parents are increasingly inspired by the wellness movement. Names related to spiritual practices like yoga or meditation, like peace, harmony, or hope, we're screwed, have risen in popularity, and so have names tied to healthy food trends. Say hello to the age of baby kale. Woo! Quote, as fast food and processed snacks lose ground to clean eating and paleo diets, more Gen Z and millennial parents are choosing baby names that reflect their love of healthy foods. Baby Center explains in its press release, for girls, parents are increasingly picking names like kale, kiwi, maple, hazel, clementine, sage, saffron, and rosemary. Names like saffron, sage, and hazel are also on the rise for boys. Wait, what? Saffron, sage, and hazel are what's the word?
Yeah,
non-gender specific?
Yeah, exactly. It's the age of there's no gender. So.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Hi, my son's name is Sage. He's transitioning. Oh, what's his new name? Sage. Okay. I'll read the last little bit. It's a trend that's been underway for some time. Bon Appetit magazine published a feature in 2014 that found that this is far from a new phenomenon. Quote, turns out parents have been giving their kids grocery-inspired names for just about as long as there's been babies. Or at least since 1880, which is when the U.S. government started keeping track of them. Take the name kale, for example. Looks like kale has been America's darling for longer than we originally thought. The name was first used in 1962, and while we were not surprised to learn that the highest concentration of little kales can currently be found in California. Imagine my shock! We were intrigued to learn that the first baby kale was born in Kansas. It's been gaining popularity since 2005, quite possibly due to the leafy green's parallel rise to prominence. Can watercress and Mizuna be far behind? So yes.
They could be very far behind.
So yes, regular names like John, Joe, Jeff, Jason. Fuck that. We're on to saffron, sage, and hazel, ladies and gentlemen. And they're on the rise. Thank you, California. Can you do me a favor and move to Texas and do the exact same thing and then wonder why things are shitty once again? Anyway. So yes. Kale is the new name for your kids. And if you don't do it, if you don't go along with it, what are you, a bigot? Do you have anything else to add, Chappers?
Well, I mean, somebody has to have a weird name so they can get beat up in school.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, they stuffed kale in the locker again. Ha ha, what a noob.
Noob.
All right, but yes, so kale apparently is on the rise, and it's not just the food. Next, from The Atlantic, probably one of our weirder stories of the day, but not the weirdest. Doctors aren't sure how this even came out of a patient. Somehow a man coughed up an intact blood clot shaped like a lung passage. This is the picture of it. It's actually very both cool and weird at the same time. But quickly, on Tuesday, the New England Journal of Medicine tweeted the most recent addition to its photo series of the most visually arresting medical anomalies. The image is of a mysterious branch-like structure that, posted elsewhere, would probably pass for a cherry red chunk of some underground root system or a piece of bright reef coral. But this is no creature of the deep. It's a completely intact, 6-inch wide clot of human blood in the exact shape of the right bronchial tree, one of the two key tubular networks that ferry air to and from the lungs, and it was coughed up in one piece. The clot is beautiful, and it's also kind of gross. I mean, that's basically what I just said. The tweet received a slew of replies from those frightened that the photo showed an actual coughed-up lung, which is about as likely to happen as your brain falling out of your butt. Oh, good. Thank you for informing me, The Atlantic. I was worried. But even the doctors who treated the 36-year-old man who produced the clot aren't entirely sure how it could have emerged without breaking. George Weisselthaler? I'm just going to go with Weisselthaler. A transplant and pulmonary surgeon at the University of California at San Francisco says the unnamed patient was initially admitted to the intensive care unit with aggressive end-stage heart failure. Oh, Jesus. Wesselthalter quickly connected the patient's struggling heart to a pump designed to help maximize blood flow through the body. But this type of ventricle assist device comes with its own risks. Quote, you have high turbulence inside the pumps, and that can cause clots to form inside, Wesselthaler says. So with all these patients, you have to give them anticoagulants to make the blood thinner and prevent clots from forming. By the way, I love that we picked to go fast, and I picked a bunch of articles with a bunch of technical terms and monosyllabic words. Ah!
I was wondering, but I was like, okay.
No, let's go. We're not done yet. We still got time. These anticoagulants themselves can lead to trouble. In a healthy person, oxygen-starved blood leaving the heart travels an intricate network of capillaries through the lungs for an oxygenating pit stopped by the airways. Usually, if small fissures occur in this network, the body's clotting agents show up to slap some circulatory duct tape on them until they heal. Ooh, we got analogies. For someone taking anticoagulants, the body can't officially patch things up if any part of this tight blood vessel network is breached, and things can spiral out of control. In Wesselthaler's case, blood eventually broke out into his patient's pulmonary network into the lower right lung, heading directly for the bronchial tree. After days of coughing up much smaller clots, Wesselthaler's patient bore down on a longer, deeper cough and relieved spit out a large, oddly shaped clot folded in on itself. Once Wesselthaler and his team carefully unfurled the bundle and laid it out, they found that the architecture of the airways had been retained so perfectly that they were able to identify it as the right bronchial tree based solely on the number of branches and their alignment. We were astonished, Wesselthaler says. It's a curiosity you can't imagine. I mean, this is very, very, very rare. So yes, a guy coughed up a blood clot in the shape of his right lung. Fucking cool. What do you think, Jappers?
Well, I thought it was freaking awesome, but that's still, it's creepy as hell that he was coughing that up. I could only imagine what that felt like.
Oh, I can't imagine that was comfortable. And he was probably coughing for days.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, it says it came out with just a single cough.
Right, but they had said he had coughed up smaller ones before, so I assume it had been a chronic issue. Well, I can only assume if he got a clot like that it had to be somewhat chronic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was crazy. It's crazy that he coughed up. I mean, I can't even imagine how that would have formed, but all right.
But yes, so as the doctor said, very, very, very rare. But there you have it. An intact blood clot in the shape of your right lung's circulatory system, basically. Very exciting. Now, into stupid, goofy legal news. We got a trifecta that I'm going to try to blow through real quick. Woo! Seattle Times reports handgun reported stolen in 1990 found atop Seattle police officer's locker. Seattle police were unable to take any action against now retired officer Carl Matsumoto after he denied he improperly kept the gun. On March 9th, 2017, a Seattle police officer clearing space above his locker in the South Precinct tried to slide a nylon duffel bag sitting atop the locker next to his. It was too heavy, so he lifted it and then opened it. Inside, he found plastic bins containing 19 knives, 10 handguns, and miscellaneous ammunition. It turned out that one of the guns, an older Walther PPK, had been reported stolen in Seattle in 1990. The partly blue duffel bag had been sitting on top of locker number 17 for at least 7 years. Because that makes sense. Nobody bothered to clean the place out. Anyway, according to the officer, on the locker was the name Matsumoto in blue tape, according to internal investigation documents obtained by the Seattle Times. Among the items found in the bag was a small pocket knife with the initial CHM on the handle, the initials of locker 17's occupant, Officer Carl H. Matsumoto. An investigation showed that Officer Matsumoto had written the stolen property report for the Walther handgun when it turned up missing in a residential burglary in 1990, according to the documents. Despite these facts, the Office of Police Accountability I don't know why that makes me laugh. Why do you need an office for that? Anyway, was unable to find Matsumoto had done anything wrong, largely because he insisted he had no idea how the bag got on top of his locker or how his knife, he acknowledged it belonged to him, got inside. Documents indicate that OPA found Matsumoto's story of a concoction of, quote, fantastical coincidences that were as unbelievable as they were unprovable. The incident illustrates the formidable challenge faced by the police department when it investigates one of its own, even as it has carried out sweeping reforms and sought to bolster officer accountability and public faith in response to federal findings in 2011 that Seattle officers routinely used excessive force and demonstrated evidence of biased policing. So yes, some guy left a stolen gun on top of a officer's locker, and they didn't find it until 28 years later.
Well, and they couldn't prove anything. Like, they couldn't prove the officer was doing anything wrong with it, which is kind of odd. You know, I mean, it can be assumed that he's doing something. You know, why does he have a stolen handgun in a bag with his pocket knife? But they can't prove it, so.
Nope. It's just a very weird story. And then,
yeah, it's really strange.
And I hope everybody appreciated my super serious pronunciation. Officer Matsumoto.
Matsumoto.
Mushi mushi. All right. On to the next dumb legal. From the Springfield News Leader. Springfield man was too drunk to remember burglaries, police say. The break-ins were happening night after night. Numerous businesses, all within a few blocks of each other in East Springfield, were being targeted. Someone was creeping around with a tire iron or a crowbar, police say, prying their way inside and taking guns, a TV, crystals, and a $1,000 gold coin. Wow. I wanted a $1,000 gold coin. That'd be cool. Now authorities say that they have the culprit, a man who lives in the neighborhood and routinely gets too drunk to remember his capers. Routinely? Why is he out then? Anyway, Weston Ranke, 28, has been charged with 4 counts of felony burglary, though police suspect him of several other nearby break-ins this year, court documents say. Ranke, however, told police he has no recollection of many of them, according to court documents. Ranke admitted he had not been making good decisions. No shit, documents say. Police identified Ranke as a suspect through fingerprints and surveillance footage. Ranke has a distinct cross tattoo on his left calf, documents say. According to court documents, Ranke is suspected of committing the following break-ins. Sheely Wellness was burglarized several times. Hundreds of dollars in cash, 3 guns, an iPod, 2 bracelets, and 2 crystals were stolen. The Rainbow Network, a Christian ministry that does work in rural Nicaragua, had a TV and a gold coin worth $1,000 taken. A doctor's office had a laptop, iPod, and prescription pad taken. Oh, no, not the prescription pad. Several crates were stacked beneath a window of the Missouri Grocers Association, and the alarm was tripped, but nothing was taken. 2 other businesses reported having damage to doors consistent with attempted break-ins. Quote, when confronted about the burglaries in the area, Ranke stated he had been drinking alcohol in excess due to problems with the mother of his child and the recent passing of his father, documents say. Ranke claimed he would drink in excess and black out. Ranke is currently being held in Greene County Jail on a $12,500 bond. Court documents say. He does not have an attorney listed in online court records. All right, the height of intelligence of this guy and the police department for not, I don't know, stopping him from doing this over and over again? Do you have any thoughts, Jabbers?
Well, I thought it was funny you said, oh no, not the prescription pad, but if you think about it, that's probably the most valuable item that got stolen. Because you can write prescriptions for all sorts of things at that point.
Yeah, but he doesn't need any opioids. He's got booze, apparently, and too much of it.
Hey, look, you can sell opioids to get booze.
Seems like a fair trade. I'm looking over at Broski's channel, and I'm not seeing Shaggin anywhere.
Yeah, I haven't seen him queue up yet.
Yeah, so I think we can take our time with the last 2, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, let's keep her going. So, yes, a guy who's too drunk to remember stealing a bunch of shit. Which, by the way, he stole a TV and a gold coin from a Christian ministry. Damn, that's cold-blooded. Anyway, last one on the goofy law-breaking side. FAU student threatens to kill professor for scheduling 7 a.m. final exam, police say. This is according to Local 10 News in Palm Beach County, I guess. Rafael DeComas accused of posting threat on Twitter. Oh, no, not Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no. Twitter. Jesus. Well, you know it's serious.
Yeah, if you put it on Twitter, that's binding. Last I checked. Doe the Kid says, wasn't Chaggett last night? No, it was not. It was scheduled for 9 o'clock this evening, but I don't see this stream up, so maybe it's not happening. So we'll see.
Yeah, Stabbert said that Chaggett was delayed due to the Kumite, and that's true. They are still going on the Kumite, so I don't know. Maybe the plan is to do it later. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, for now... Oh, not tonight, but that was last night. Okay, yeah, no. So, I thought it was happening tonight. Well, we'll see. We'll just run under the assumption that it'll happen eventually, but for now, we'll take our time. Yeah, send gear TikTok. Hey, man, no pressure.
Hey, I would say that was pretty impressive the way you got through those stories.
Yeah, I thought I made good time. But yeah, I picked the worst articles to do it. But I thought I did an okay job of getting in all the words and actually sounding halfway competent. But it's all those damn books. How dare I be well read? We don't got time for you book fellows. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Tell them about it, JoJo.
Tell them about it, JoJo.
Reset the clock. Back to this moron. A Florida Atlantic University student is accused of posting a threat to kill one of his professors on Twitter, because that's smart. Rafael DeComas, 20, of Riviera Beach, was arrested last week on a charge of sending a written threat to kill. According to an FAU police report, a Twitter post published at about 1 a.m. Tuesday read, quote, "Bay, I gern fucking kill this professor, Bay. This is my confession to a premeditated murder." End quote. The tweet was posted from @Ashlaniqua Cutie Claus. What the hell? FAU police said they were able to trace the account to DeComas because the Twitter profile linked him to the Caribbean student. Oh my goodness. I'm slipping. Because the Twitter profile linked him to the Caribbean Student Association. Nailed it. According to the report, DeComas told police he was upset that his data structure professor had scheduled, I think is what they were going for, a final exam for 7 a.m. Because DeComas lives in Riviera Beach, police said he told them he would have to wake up at 5 a.m. Quote, DeComas stated he did not intend to harm anyone and tweeted the post out of frustration. The report said DeComas advised that he deleted the post soon after publishing it. Palm Beach County Jail records show DeComas was released on a $5,000 bond. So it cost him $5,000 to basically say, man, I'm really angry. I'm going to kill my professor. Wait, JK, bro.
Well, that's just a bond, too. He still has to go to trial.
Yeah. I don't know, Jabbers. Did you go to school at any point?
Yeah, I've been to school at a few points.
Okay, I went to school too. I don't know. I've never been tempted to, in any form of communication, say I'm going to kill my professor.
Well, I mean, especially over a 7 a.m. final. Well, fuck you. I have releases that go earlier than that.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever had a 7 a.m. exam, but still, if I did, so
I had a 7:30 one time. It was a bitch because I lived about an hour and a half away from the school, but I just did it. Just drove in.
Oh. Why would you be an hour and a half from your school?
Well, because I live on the campus. I didn't have money to live on the campus, and I didn't have money for an apartment nearby, so I lived an hour and a half away.
Jesus.
Yeah, it really wasn't that bad.
All right. I'll take your word for it. I guess what I'm saying is I can't relate because I didn't live on campus, but I was able to live in my folks' basement, which was basically 10, 15 minutes away, depending on the traffic, but yeah. Yeah,
well, I mean, at the time I was living in my folks' basement, and it was about an hour and a half away. Everything around here, though, is that way, though, honestly. Like, I mean, we live half an hour from a theater, half an hour from grocery stores and stuff like that. I mean, we drive just about to get everywhere.
Wow. So I mean, if you got errands to run, you got to make pretty much a commitment and get as much done as possible. Then I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what we do. We just say, okay, well we're gonna go out and go shopping, and so we go out and go shopping for a few hours and then come back.
All right then. Fair enough. By the way, yes, Sengir, I noticed what you said in the chat. Where's our Swedish chef break? By the way, that's supposed to be a regular segment. Yeah. Let me put it to you this way. I'll do it at some point before we end the show. We'll get a. It's not a Swedish chef break. It's a blackout break. Come on. It's a live look into Blackout's kitchen.
Well, and I think, if I recall, I think I saw Doc said to check your DMs at some point too.
Oh, he did. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I'll do that right now, I guess. I look on Discord. I don't see anything. Let me check the Twattermate. Oh. The photo. Oh, no.
Oh, no. What'd he send you?
Oh, God. Okay. This is in relation to the virginal story we were reading earlier.
Oh, goodness. Post it and stuff for show.
Well, I'm debating putting it on stream. I don't think I can do that. I'll just simply describe it and do what you just told me to do, but I don't think we can put it up on screen. I will describe it, though. It is, I shit you not.
Oh, yeah, no, you definitely don't want to put that up
I can't put that on the show, but I will do my best to describe it for the audience. It is a dildo, a blue dildo, that has a crucifix on it with Christ on the cross, and then something called Holy Water Lube, Sanctus Orgasmicus. And I think that's what, 12 ounces, 120 milliliters, something like that.
I mean, I guess, yeah, but
so yeah, thank you for that.
It is not a small dildo.
Thank you for that, Doc. But here's
the power of Christ definitely will compel you.
But it shouldn't, because if, again, we're back to Jesus being the standard. If you're married to Jesus, why do you need a dildo? He's got you covered. Or at least he should be. Anyway, where the hell were we? Oh, we were on this a-hole threatening to kill his professor over an early morning exam. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, and police taking it way too seriously.
Yeah, and police being a bit over the top about it. Yeah, I think I can concur with that.
The kid said, so it's too big for Opal. Oh, it would tear Opal in half. Not that quite describes the size of it.
Well, no, it might tear Opal in half because as soon as it touches her, she starts burning. Like, it's holy. The power of Christ compels you. Good morning. It burns. Oh, that's not nice.
That's not nice. Be nice.
Yeah, no, I'm sure Opal's a lovely lady, but it was still funny. But yeah, so word of the wise: don't threaten your professors, especially over dumb shit. And officers, if you could just pump the brakes. I know you might be a little bored because it's Palm Beach, but let the guy go. I don't know. Seems a little dumb all around. And finally, our last story for the day. Probably the weirdest story I've seen in a while, and that's saying something considering we've pretty much covered the gambit on this here program. But from MSN.com. Hotel's horrifying dead son tribute prompts apology to British couple. Let me repeat that for you. Hotel's horrifying dead son tribute prompts apology to British couple. Let me click on that photo. Let me click on that photo so everyone can see just how goofy this looks. So it looks like happy birthday, we miss you, Alex, a cake, and what appears to be some sort of dummy. I hope to God that's not a cadaver. That would be some serious fucked up shit.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. It's a dummy. It's made with straw and rolled up mattresses rolled up pillows, stuff like.
I would certainly hope, because that would be just cold blooded. If they're like, oh, by the way, this is a cadaver from the university, the university research department, or some shit. But yeah, let's take a deep dive into this, shall we? A British woman says she was trembling, shaking, and, quote, utterly horrified after staffers at a Jamaica hotel left a dummy body on a bed to honor her dead godson. Karen Baker had asked employees at Royalton Jamaican Resort to pay tribute to Alex Stevens, a 22-year-old who took a fatal fall off a balcony in Spain 4 years ago, with balloons and a cake. Instead, they created a life-size effigy in the hotel room for Alex's parents, Faye and Andrew Stephen. Quote, staff had gone through my friend's wardrobe and stuffed the clothes with towels to make it look like a body on the bed. They even put tears down the face and a can of lager in his hand, Baker recounted to BBC's Three Counties Radio. Quote, I have truly never seen anything like it. I still look at the photographs now and can't believe somebody thought to do that. A spokesperson with the travel company TUI UK, which helped set up the trip, offered, quote, sincere apologies and a full refund to the relatives, BBC reported. Quote, we're following up with the hotel and believe it was a misunderstanding with no intention to cause upset, the spokesperson said. Oh my God. I just want to be there for I want to be there for the order. I want to be there for the frickin' for the frickin' boss telling the employees, yeah, we need a dead-looking person. Get the towels, set up the... And yes, Marking Out has a very important question. Is that a dummy cake? I don't know.
No, it's not. It's a real cake. I mean, this is things you wish the reaction up to it had been filmed and put on YouTube.
Yeah, I just want to be there for like a bar rescue show or one of those reality shows. Like, I want to see this meeting taped. I'm clicking the photo again. Look at that shit. I mean, who... All right, guys. We got a couple who has made a special request. We need you to create a dummy that looks like their dead godson. We need a cake, balloons, a beer, and we need it snappy. Double time, in fact.
Yeah, I mean, like this looks like, okay, so this looks like something you would see on a reality TV show. You know, when they have to come up with an idea based on a theme. You know, and they come up with this idea, and you're looking at like, oh, that's not going to work out the way they think it's going to work out. But you can't tell them that, obviously, because you're just watching a TV show. That's exactly what this is. Like, you're looking at this photo going, how could they possibly have thought this was going to be a good idea?
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think, oh, their heart was in the right place. They meant well. But no, this is just goofy.
Yeah, I mean, they were just asked to pay tribute to the kid.
Yeah, not create an effigy. That could be burned at the stake or some shit. I mean, and the beer, I mean, there was no mention in that article about the kid being a drunk when he fell off the balcony or anything. And if that was the case, why would you mention beer? I mean, good God. And they took the clothes. I mean, just the whole thing. But what the hell? And the balloons.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just so wrong and absurd. I can't believe this is a thing. Oh, my God.
This is just as unbelievable that this is what they came up with.
I'm surprised they not only didn't, well, I mean, paid for... refunded them for the trip, but then didn't give them like vouchers or something to another hotel or something.
I can say, yeah, here's a voucher to come back to our hotel.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Not to our place, to somewhere else because we fucked up so bad. But
well, why are the people going back to their? Why would the people want to stay in that hotel anyway? You'd figure they would be weirded out anyway.
Dude, I don't know. Also,
here's the other weird part about this, right? So we've been assuming that the kid fell off of the hotel balcony at this hotel, right? But according to the story, he didn't. he fell off a hotel balcony in Spain. This was a Jamaican hotel. Like, I really don't understand. like what was the goal here?
I have no idea. Mark and out says, "Where's the beer?" I'm gonna zoom in.
The beer is in his left hand. I said his, but the effigy's left hand. You can see it right next to him on his side hip.
Let me zoom in and zoom in. Yeah, if you look, okay, that's god awful. Let me do that. Oh no, that gets rid of it. Okay, good. So if you look, yeah, I zoomed in. I don't know how that looks on OBS. Yeah, because they put some stupid thing over the top of it with the title of the article. But yeah, if you look at his left hand, right next to the cake, there's a can of beer right there.
Also, I love the sunglasses. Those give it a real touch.
Yeah, and he's wearing like some sort of Star Wars mask. Like he looks like some guy on a desert planet too. It's just, it's just so goofy. Unbelievable. Happy birthday. We miss you, Alex. Oh, that's just so...
Well, I mean, you could tell that they were trying to do something good, so...
Yeah, like I said, their heart's in the right place. Just obviously their head wasn't.
Somebody definitely should have been there to say, this is a bad idea.
All right. I think on that horrific note...
Yeah. Before somebody fakes an effigy for us.
Yeah, which you know is a distinct possibility. I'm not hinting that anyone should draw or do that, but because that would be funny. But yeah, I think it's the news for the week. You got anything to add, Jabbers?
No. Well, so we probably should tell them about the holiday schedule.
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
Since that's coming up in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. I just want to know if you had anything to add news-wise or to this horrific story or anything else.
No. I don't think anything needs to be added to that. I think probably taking things away from it would probably be a good idea.
Yeah, like all of it.
No, I mean they could have left the happy birthday, we miss you, Alex. They could have left that. Everything else could go.
And the cake and the beer, but just get rid of the effigy.
Yeah, probably anything that looks like a body needs to go.
Yeah, probably. All right. I'm going to acknowledge Sengir's request because I guess he asked relatively nicely. And I'm going to get some Swedish stuff in here. Although, Miss Stavros says I have an idea. I don't know if she's talking to us or not, but and then she says
no, and I think she's talking about drawing us as Tusken Raiders.
But yeah, so here, nope, that's not what I want. I want that. Okay. So at the request of Sengir, here's a... Whoops. Let me try to look at YouTube. Nope. Why did you do that? Properties. Let me try this again. That's better. Let's watch some Swedish Chef, because reasons. Oh, by the way, I'm starting it now. Just so you're aware. Live from Blackout's kitchen. Okay. All right, are you all caught up, Jabbers?
Yep, I am all caught up.
All right. Oh, it was in reference to making you two an effigy. Oh, sure. I'm sure one of our artsy-fartsy internet friends could potentially make that happen. But yeah, so another show in the can. How do you think we did, Jabbers?
I think we did okay. One's in the chat if we had a good show tonight.
Yeah, put a 1 in the chat if you thought we did an okay job. Anything else, and we'll still take that as a good thing, because screw you guys. My self-esteem can't go lower. It's like the discussion we were having, I think last night, where I'm like, oh, I'm working from 0, and you're like, oh no, -1 could be lower, and I'm like, you can have -1 self-esteem. Jesus, that's like beyond suicide. I dislike myself so much, I won't even kill myself.
Well, we got a 1 from Stabbers and Jolly Roger, and a 3 from Marking Out.
Looks like we got a
1 from Singer.
We got a sensual 1 from Jolly Roger's Bilgewater.
Well, it was either sensual or he was thinking about it.
Yeah, potentially. Oh, contemplating, yeah. He was trying to be clever. Oh, very clever.
Oh, very clever. Looks like Marking Out has amended it to a 1, so...
Oh,
I think
no.
we did pretty good.
Oh, no. Wait, we're not done yet. It already happened.
Not?
No, Doc has continued. Hold on. Let me put this on screen. Congratulations, Jabbers. You are an effigy now.
Jesus, hold on.
It's coming up on the stream here in a minute. I'll copy it and put it in the Discord as well. The stuff for show.
Oh, it looks like Doc is saying to check our DM, so maybe I have it too. Let me see.
Yeah, he gave it to me on the Twitter, mate, and I put it on screen. Congratulations. We'll miss you, Jabbers. Fantastic. Perfect.
We'll have to throw that in a meme reel.
Yeah, I put it in the Discord. I'll throw it in the meme reel. Although we don't really use the meme reel that much, now that I think about it. We tend to stick on this screen for the most part, and then switch to the last one. But I'll throw it in the meme reel. Definitely worth it. Especially with no context, where it's just going to leave people who don't know with nothing but questions. Which are the best memes, in my opinion. But all right. Like Jabbers was alluding to, because of holiday reasons and IRL stuff, we won't be back until the 29th. So, a couple weeks off. Again, those cursed holidays and family crap getting in the way. Yeah. You'd think at some point we'd learn, Jabbers, and just learn to prioritize this very important show over the people we love and care about. But, you know.
Yeah, well, you'd think.
Because we do very important work here.
Yeah, we're serious YouTubers. We're a serious YouTube career that we have to think about.
Oh, I couldn't even say it with a straight face. It was too bullshit. I couldn't even sarcasm my way out of that one. Oh my. All right. Well, we'll see you then, December 29th. Going to acknowledge everybody who showed up. Thanks for showing up. Jolly Rogers, Bilgewater, Miss Stabbers, Doc Griffin, Doe the Kid, Marking Out, Send Gear, Cheryl Tilbury, I think. Doc Griffin, Wicked Heart, John Doe, Chop Top Nada stopped by. I think I already said John Doe. Oh yeah, Tater Snake. I think Coffee Can, the guy who called me nigger twice. Yeah, that guy. And anyone else I missed? Oh, Drax was here earlier. Lo-Fi was here. Sisyphus, Killing Joke. Oh, Redacted. I Am Lucky. The Everyday Man, and anybody else I miss, I apologize. See y'all next time. Bye-o.
Later.
Closing time. Open all the doors out and let you out into the world. Closing time. turn all of the lights on over every boy and every girl. Closing time, one last call for alcohol, so finish your whiskey or beer. Closing time, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I know I wanna take me home. I know I wanna take me home. I know I want to take me home. Take me home. Closing time, time for you to go out to the places you will be from. Closing time, this room won't be open till your brothers or your sisters come. So gather up your jackets, move it to the exits. I hope you have found a friend. Closing time, every new beginning comes with some other beginnings, and yeah, I know I wanna take me home. I know I wanna take me home. I know I wanna take me home. Take me home. Closing time, time for you to go out to the places you will be from. I know